Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Knowledge Empowers podcast. As always, with you is me, Kat, 안녕하세요. Then we have Parush
Hello.
and Kolaj.
Dobre rano. Guys, today I want to open one topic because I stumbled upon it in the internet, and they said that volunteering is much more fulfilling than when it comes to usual job. That the volunteers are much more influenced or fulfilled, feeling fulfilled when they do some extra volunteering hours or actually go to an NGO and help there, because suddenly they have much higher purpose than when you're working in a company where you are maybe just earning money. So I wanted to know your opinion. What do you think of the volunteering? Have you met with that?
Well, I have, and I am volunteering quite a lot, but I also volunteer in something that has a meaning, not just like I need to do some volunteering because of volunteering. In our company, we have a number of possibilities. One of them, which I really like, and we'll be sharing a link of the article under our YouTube podcast, etc. It's called Peer Language Course. So we have a possibility to have a conversation classes with our Chinese colleagues and help them conversate in English. And it's because even though they can be part of global team or local team, but they literally, if you are surrounded with your colleagues in China or same here in Slovakia, then you don't use the language in a conversational way. Of course, you write everything in emails, etc., but you have literally no one to speak to and practice the language. And so there are two program managers behind it, and they actually prepare like everything for you. So it's like a set of topics. You spend up to 8 hours in 1 quarter. And the topics are, first one is, of course, introduction. Second is, for example, food. Third one is travels. Fourth one is business language. And there are prepared decks, and you just fill it in with your own information. And you always set up once a week, you have 1 hour call with the colleague, and you ask them, also your colleague, to prepare the same deck like you are touching. And that way, not only both of you are speaking, but also you're learning a lot about the culture, about the person, what do they do, how that city looks like. So actually it brings me more value than the person, because yes, that person is learning or is practicing the language and learning about our culture as well. But I'm learning really a lot specifically about Chinese culture, breaking down the stereotypes, what I've heard, etc. So it's very nice. So that's one, and it's very meaningful for me because I know I'm helping a person.
So volunteering for you means that you are giving back to certain community something on top of your work. That's it.
There are, of course, many other activities that we can do. So, for example, the way our company has it is that you can actually do the volunteering during working hours, right? So, and if you do 10 hours of volunteering in a quarter, you log those hours in a tool, and then it's also transformed into money, and you can then donate those money into an NGO, non-profit organization, as an example. I remember my first 3 weeks in the company when my manager arrived from US here to meet me, and she was like, Kat, we need to do some volunteering. And I'm like, what do you mean volunteering? Like, what? And I was just 3 weeks in the company. And I went to my colleague, and she was like, I don't know, what does she mean? And then we had to ask some of the colleagues who are much longer in the company, like, what does that mean when a boss tells you we need to do some volunteering? And so in one day I had to find, what are we going to do, and something meaningful. So we actually went to Sloboda Zviera, the dog shelter place. And one afternoon we went there and we took 3 dogs out and we went for a nice walk. So we gave something to someone, because mostly what those NGOs are looking for is not really the money. It's more about they need like the human social that like human person that they need manpower, literally, that you physically come there, you take the dogs out, go for 1 hour walk, then you come back. So that's another very nice volunteering.
I don't believe in these programs.
It took me a long time to understand it. Like, what does that really mean? And maybe I understood it when I was in Austin, and we were forming our team, and we were locked every day in a meeting room almost for 10 hours. It was very tiring. And afterwards, the 5th day, we went to, it's called Ronald McDonald's house. So actually McDonald's has houses around US, where this one was particular next to Children's Hospital. And kids who have either leukemia or different type of cancer, and their parents wants to be with their kids, they stay in these houses. And these houses, it looks like a hotel. You offer free for these parents. And the volunteers coming there to actually cook either breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because the parents are literally stuck with the kids in the hospital, and maximum what you have there are vending machines. And so the volunteers are helping that you have at least some decent food that you can get. So you assign yourself as a volunteer for a specific day, you bring the food, you cook the food, etc. And so the parents, they will just grab the food with them, they go to hospital, and then they stay with the hospital. So you literally saw a real human being, that you help them in their most vulnerable, toughest time, when their mental state is not really good, because they are struggling about their kids who are very sick. And this way you knew that at least you help them with some, let's say, silly food. It's very silly compared to what they're going through. And you saw the people with your own eyes that you're helping them. And that fulfilled me. Like, wow, just because I use my own hands, I helped someone. And because I could do it during the working hours, so I didn't compensate, let's say, my private time with my family, but I could do it during the work, and I literally helped someone. So that was very fulfilling after really such a heavy week of working.
I totally get that. I totally agree with that, that the act of volunteering is really fulfilling. What I don't believe, like any company is not aligned when it comes to volunteering. Like, okay, this is our purpose. We are going to help these families, or it's not the hospital, but they are just sending employees and doing the PR, and the employees are doing the PR for the company. Like, yeah, we are from this company. We came to help you because our company. Yeah, nah, the company actually is totally in a different way. It's not really like investing money, or maybe, the company could have already invested some sort of money and gave there a person who is there permanently, pay for that person permanently. But no, they are not doing that. We just send you guys for a day so that these guys have a better feeling about themselves. They see some impact, but they are not doing it regularly. So it's just nice. So that's what I'm a bit struggling with. Like, like this program is nice, but at the same time, I feel it like it's the sort of a charity feeling. Like, yeah, we have too much, so let's give a little back so that we have a good resume, for the others. Yeah, we are doing that. We are giving back to the community.
Yeah, that's true. That's why, for example, in my case with the peer language course, I participate every quarter, just because of the real person that I have contact with, and I always meet really such an interesting people. And with one, and Baruch knows him, and I just showed like this with a finger because again I'm with Baruch. In China, there is an application called WeChat. It's similar like our WhatsApp, Viber, etc. And we click so much with Yang that we write each other almost every day, just like, what's the day, how are you, what's going on, and we just chat like with any other friends, and helping each other. Sometimes he records himself just so he can practice the English, then I record myself, and sort of we continue this way. And it really helps me to destroy those stereotypes about what we hear about China or Chinese people. And of course, Baruch lived there for 6 years, so she can talk, hours. But meeting directly a Chinese person really gives you a difference. And just the possibility, sometimes it's about, Kat, I have this business thing, how can I approach, can you check that for me? It just really gives you fulfillment. Yes, that's your colleague, but you are really helping that colleague just to be even better in his or her work.
So, Kolach, do you think in this case, like, would you said you don't believe in such programs, but would it make you not participate in such programs?
Like, if the thing is that I volunteered way before volunteering was anyhow proposed in the company, or that I know that you can get some money for it for whatever purpose, or that you can go outside during the working hours. No, my first volunteering, we went to the dog shelter. It was like, 7 years ago. During our lunchtime, we sacrificed our lunchtime to volunteer. Or I went to volunteer for an NGO voluntarily after the work. So I did it on top of my work. So I believe that volunteering should come from inside, from the person's belief, not from like, oh, I'm pushed by someone to do it. So that's losing the side of a purpose. So I believe in volunteering itself. I like that some companies are motivating people to go there and giving them some benefits, like now what Kat was mentioning, like maybe during the working hours or something like that. I've heard from other people that they are the volunteering works, that they go to shelters, give food, or they go to travel to different countries, help there. Or actually, I heard from my friend, and he does really nice thing when it comes to volunteering. Before Christmas, his family is every day collecting some money, every day starting 1st of December until 24th, and they then donate them on 24th to some charity, to some kids house, orphanage house, so they can buy presents for the kids. And this is what I believe is true volunteering. It's not this fancy, I'm going here to take photos and help people and get it out of my checklist, but really the purpose of volunteering.
And that's why I'm saying, like you said, it needs to go also from your heart. I'm just gonna also share two more examples. One is I'm also participating in NGO, which is totally outside of my working hours. As said, sometimes it's about the human power or the human hours that they need. And this is about an LGBTI community that I'm heavily participating in. We are preparing and doing like education, business forum, enlarging the network around the Europe or even the globe, etc. So that's another part, because it fulfills me and I see that we are capable to move forward with something. And the second, just to show you, and it's happening in our company as well, just also, this one is a very particular one during Christmas, where the girls who are taking care of that, let's call it a project, they have a couple of shelter places where they collect from the children what kind of presents they would like to receive under the Christmas tree. And then we can pick, like, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that. And then you bring until certain date exactly what the kid would want. They will pack it, and that's what they will find under the Christmas tree. And I like that it's such a simple fact, but you really fulfill a child's dream just with that. I usually always pick art stuff because that's close to my heart, right? And I like all the arts, etc. And I just wanted to say that many times you can hear like the abbreviation called CSR, not only volunteering, and CSR means corporate social responsibilities. That's what most companies have. But again, like you've said, Kovac, it needs to go from the heart of people. It cannot be forced. And we see it same with our performance. If you are capable to motivate correctly your employees, right, to perform, if you push them, that won't work on the long term. But if you give them, these are your options, and I'm not going to force you, but if you want to do it, these are the possibilities. If that makes you happy, why not? And that's why when I'm picking a volunteering activity, I mean, we have plenty, I'm really picking the one that I see the impact, that I'm helping someone, either a particular person. So with the peer language, that gives me perfect sense. That person needs a practice to speak in English. I remember back when, and my first opportunity to go abroad was to do an au pair, right? But if I wouldn't have the right family, because I know au pairs that the families never spoke to them, but yet you had to take care of their kids, but that was your only opportunity to go abroad where you're supposed to practice English, but all you had was a kitchen English with the little kids because the parents didn't want to speak to you, right? I was lucky, I had very good family, and they really practiced with me. I remember when the mom took me to the kitchen and she just said, this is a cupboard, this is a fork, this is a knife, this is a spoon. Together, it's a cutlery. For Americans, silverware. And so, and that way I had to practice. So I remember how hard it was for me. And now that I'm able to give this back, that wow, just because we have the opportunity to speak to one another, perfect. That I know I'm helping you because all you need is just to practice, right? And it's same for any language when you learn. If you have that either native speaker or someone who is good in that language and can help you out, you know you're helping.
Where do you get to see the difference between that this is a volunteering and this is just helping my friend or helping somebody out?
Isn't it the same? I mean, it's basically volunteering, right? Like even if you're helping your friend, we could call it like in terms of terms, we could call it volunteering. Like, I think maybe if we want to nitpick, I think volunteering is more like I will definitely not get anything back from volunteering. Like I know, for example, if I do something for Kat, maybe one day she can return it to me, but maybe the other way around. Anyway, if I do volunteer, I will probably never get anything back besides the good feeling, right? So I think that's the difference.
Because if it's your friend, like Baru, she's right now in Bratislava, and I tell her, hey girl, where will you sleep? I don't know. Well, come to our place, right? But you threw away the sofa where I used to sleep. Well, we still have another sofa, girl. Well, like, why would you go sleep somewhere else? That's your place. We take you as our daughter. That's where you're gonna sleep. And she's my friend. Do I expect anything out of it? No, but it's more of friend helping another friend, and I know she's always there for me if I need anything, moral support, etc. I know that I can turn to her. With volunteering, I literally don't expect that I'll get anything back. It's like, or maybe even my setup of expectation. I just want to give something. Maybe one day I'll get something. But like with Yang, that we clicked and now we are talking to one another, it just came naturally out of it, and it makes me happy that I have now a new friend somewhere in Beijing, originally from Handan, which is like 400 kilometers away from Beijing. And the first emperor of China came from Handan. That's what I've learned, for example. So I don't know if I have answered your question. I really don't know. Maybe the listeners can tell us.
I just was like questioning curious. Yeah, I don't have any answer for that as well. So I'm just like listening.
So guys, those of you who are listening to us or watching us on YouTube, if you are doing volunteering or helping or whatever we want to call it, share it with us. And I know this wasn't really, if I go 10 years back, 15 years back, this wasn't common in Slovakia at all. And especially the idea, like the word volunteering means you are not getting any money. And our salaries really, let's go 15 years back, weren't that You literally live from salary to salary. And in that case, if you said, what, I'm supposed to do some volunteering, something for free, I can't make that. I need to make money to live, not that I'm living from salary to salary. The whole concept just made literally no sense to me at that time. Until I had to understand what is really volunteering. It's not about that you're looking at it at the money. And of course, you can't do it in every stage of your life. It's not possible because you have different priorities. But you will have that stage of life that suddenly you feel, I can give 1 hour a week. Like right now, I can give this 1 hour and have a call with this person somewhere in China and we just speak. That's so doable for me. But you really need to be, have a different priorities. You need to be in a stage to understand it. All of that, what we already discussed even prior, all of this podcast.
I agree with what you said, Ken. I think not everybody has it in them. Maybe it's age related or like attitude related. I know people who are very young, like around high school age, that have no problem volunteering. I know myself at that age, I wasn't even thinking about it because I think most of young people, to be honest, are nowhere self-aware enough to recognize the value of volunteering. But at the same time, there are exceptions, of course. But I think around that time, like when I look around people around age 30 and more, like people start to realize like, okay, I've got everything that I need and that Maslow's pyramid. And now it's time for me to give back to the community. So I think like if you're in this position, I would suggest you to volunteer. I think if nothing else, I think there is a good feeling that comes with it.
Well, that's the thing, actually. I think what we mentioned, that we don't see a difference between helping out and volunteering. Everybody is naturally helping out. We are helping our parents, we are helping our siblings, helping out our friends, colleagues, lovers, wives, whatever. So what you said, like the young people don't do volunteering. Well, they do, I believe. They do help their families. They do help their friends for free. They don't expect something back, or mostly, at least it was with me like that I didn't expect that my friend is going to pay me for going with him outside or whether playing outside with him. And now you pay me because we played football together. What? Now, like we spent the time together. He needed help. I offered my help, and it went backwards as well. So volunteering, I believe, is natural to us, helping each other out, because that's how we sort of survive. That's our natural instinct to help out, and we build up the relationship based on that. What I would agree with you that it's not natural is to focus on that and target it mentally, consciously. Like, okay, so now I'm gonna do 1 hour of something what gives purpose, or maybe to go outside and explore what other possibilities are there. So it's not just 1 hour. I'm gonna, I don't know, do something for my family and cut the grass, which is volunteering because I'm helping out, but having a more impact. So I'm going to shut the orphanage and, I don't know, do 1 hour volunteering there because I'm going to paint their swings or something like that. So that gives a different purpose or different value to that 1 hour.
And that will be it for today's podcast. In my case, again, I'm just trying to think of that word, and I'm gonna whisper. So cautious.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.